I knew I was losing her. Excuse me, have you seen my wife?
I don't think she wants to see you anymore.
What? Sarah!
Don't touch my car again. I'm going. That's not the kind of touching I meant.
Jock, he stole my wife. Can you arrest him?
Sometimes it's better just to accept these things.
What the Flick, everybody? Ben Mankiewicz, Christy Lemire from the Associated Press, and Ebert Presents at the Movies. By the way, really good.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
Alonso Duralde, Movieline. The film we're going to do here is Super, about the Crimson Bolt, Earth's worst superhero. And very different reactions we have to this movie. Christy, what's the deal?
He's not Earth's worst superhero. He accomplishes things. He has goals and he reaches them, kind of. Anyway, Rainn Wilson is this sort of sad sack, short order cook who is married to Liv Tyler, who falls...
Instant problem.
He's very sweet. She's fragile when she falls in love with him, and but she falls back into the arms of her drug dealer buddy Kevin Bacon, and he decides he can't take this anymore, that all the goodness in the world is gone. He reinvents himself as this vigilante superhero named the Crimson Bolt, and he gets a little sidekick played by Ellen Page.
Batman, batarang, pipe bombs, utility belt.
Utility belt.
Green Arrow has a bow and arrow.
Okay.
Why do you need all those?
I'm making up my own superhero. He needs a weapon. That'll do.
Cool.
All it takes to be a superhero is the choice to fight evil.
Shut up, crime.
So even though he's the worst superhero in the world, I thought it was sort of playful, and you're right. It's sort of this guy who invents this alter ego to deal with his pain and the fact that there's nothing right in the world because he's lost the love of his life. So I didn't. I found it amusing when I saw it. Alonso, a different reaction.
I hated this movie. Hated it. I thought this movie was loaded with contempt for all of its characters, and not even in a way that really meant anything. It was just sort of shoddy filmmaking disguised as like bargain basement nihilism.
I was totally going to say that.
You know, I thought, you know, like Liv Tyler gives this fragile, vulnerable performance as a drug addict that seems to have come in from a totally other movie, because this movie's all, you know, idiots running around hitting each other in the head with wrenches. It's an ugly film to look at. It's borderline homophobic. I'm not one of those gays that's all sensitive about, you know, using the word faggot or whatever, but they use it a lot in this movie, and they don't use it in a place that is smart or clever or any kind of context of, like, the Sarah Silverman program. It's just lazy and white guy and frat boy, and I hated this movie. It is loaded with nothing but loathing for all of its characters, and I wanted to shoot everyone in the face by the time it was over.
Where did you see the loathing in all the characters? That's
because the whole movie felt so like, aren't these people idiots? Look at how stupid they are. Look at, you know, the ridiculous things that they will go through to try and, you know, accomplish these ridiculous goals. It was all condescending. I didn't laugh once. I really, this movie was an assault. Like, I haven't felt this assaulted by a movie since The Dark Backward 20 years ago. I wanted to give myself a Silkwood shower when it was over.
Wow. I love when you're here. That was really good. That was fun. That was good.
Did any of that, did his passion influence you in any way?
No, I had a blast in Super. I had so much fun. I think James Gunn, who wrote and directed this, has a lot of love and affection for the Rainn Wilson character, because he's kind of pathetic, but he reinvents himself, and his little costume is very makeshift, and his whole weapon is bashing people on the head with a wrench. But he means well, and he gets better at it.
Don't steal! Don't deal drugs! Don't molest kids!
Assault by the Crimson Bolt continued last night.
Shoot him.
No.
It's cool.
But then he starts like bashing people in the head for cutting in line at the movies, and then
it was very hard for me to like anybody.
It goes from being this sort of like kind of wussy would-be taxi driver, and then at the end it gets all sentimental and it's all about family and love, and I'm like, where did this come from? What movie are we watching now?
We've all learned a lesson from bashing people on the head randomly with a wrench. I kind of loved Ellen Page in this though, because she's hilarious in it. She's totally over the top. It's not like she's the smartest girl in the room with all the
No,
answers. She's
she's charming, and if anything in this movie works, it's her. But the character, again, is treated like such an idiot.
Yeah,
and does such ridiculous stuff. I was like, oh man, this movie just has it in for everybody.
Did you hate Super too?
I didn't like. I didn't. Well, first of all, I have a very complicated thoughts on that.
It deserves them.
It's going to take me easily 25 seconds to explain it. I thought Ellen Page was great, and that it was different that she did something that, again, she wasn't the smartest girl in the room, but I didn't understand her in this movie. I didn't know where she came from. She didn't seem to fit in, and she was sort of loathsome, although I think the performance was good. And also, I lost all sort of belief or desire to be on the side of Rainn Wilson. Because again, he's beating people up for standing in line at the movie theater.
That's his lowest point, though.
And I didn't like the Jesus stuff.
I love the Jesus
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
that was
that didn't
hilarious.
work for me
No,
at
that
all.
was what Nathan Fillion is this Jesus Avenger superhero guy on TV. It's hilarious.
Also,
I liked the TV part. I didn't like when he'd get visited.
Oh no, I mean the Nathan Fillion part's funny.
Did
though.
anybody else feel like there was even like a racist undertone to this movie, where like you've got the one sort of nice black character who's the other fry cook, but then everybody else, like when he goes to the neighborhood where it's all drug dealers, they're all black. And then when like the drug dealer comes who's going to make the big deal with Kevin Bacon, and of course he's going to rape Liv Tyler because that's the worst thing in the world, that a black man have sex with a white woman in a movie. He's like African black, like like seal black. The singer, not the animal. I mean, so the whole movie just felt.
I totally thought you meant the animal.
I knew he meant
I was like,
Mr. Clume.
I was
I
like,
knew that.
seals are brown.
No.
Seal black.
Can I say one thing while you're laughing? Can I say something I liked about this?
Yeah.
This movie reminded me a lot of Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, come on.
Here's why. Let me finish. Here's why.
Bring it.
Because
What do you got?
Shaun of
What
the
do you got?
Dead begins life as this very funny, very loving homage to zombie movies, and slowly but steadily becomes a very serious and very frightening zombie movie in its own right. This begins as like a funny, loving homage to all the self-made vigilante superhero movies, and then becomes a very serious and very bloody and very violent actual version of one.
Except I didn't think it was ever funny or loving or serious.
And the
But the structure is the same.
I guess.
Okay.
I'll give you
It
that.
was sort of steeped in some reality, and the ineptitude of the cops. Like the guy's driving away in a car. Little things. His license plate's on the car.
Yeah, he should have been caught a million
Could have been caught that
times.
first day. Would have been caught, and it wasn't sort of so fanciful that we could buy that. We're supposed to sort of. There's a grittiness also to it, where I think that they had to somehow manage to explain the fact that this.
Yeah, it's the worst secret identity ever.
And I
That's
had
part of the joke.
I had a problem with the joke should be funnier, Christy.
There you go.
Also, you're a homophobe.
I like you and your husband.
Everybody has a black friend, a gay friend.
I have gay friends. I'm sitting right next to one.
Right, David Duke has a black friend. So
Really?
it's funny. No, I was just kidding. Of course he doesn't. Hates black people. I noted the issue at the end with the black guy and the rape, and that was a little uncomfortable. The gay stuff, it didn't occur to me. Maybe I'm not quite.
I'm not like super
No, I know you're not.
glad about it, where like, if somebody says that's gay and they mean stupid, it's all about who says it and in what context and
Sure.
what they're saying with it. In this movie, it always felt like either a complete ignorance that anybody might take offense at it, or just like, kind of a very casual day-to-day homophobia, let's say, and not even one that anybody gave much thought to. But then so much of this movie feels like nobody put any thought into it.
I think a lot of the low budget look of it, though, is part of its charm.
I like the idea of a sort of everyday casual homophobia. Right. Yeah,
You just throw it on.
Right, you don't have to throw it on. You don't have to wear a suit for this kind of homophobia. Okay, grades, Christy, we'll start with you.
I'm going to go with 7.5.
Wow.
I'm so pumped for Alonso's number. It's going to be great.
I'm going to give it a 0.5 because it was in focus.
All right, if we'd reviewed, I saw this movie about 3 weeks ago, and if we'd reviewed it then, I might have given it a 6.5 or a 7. But last night, as I was preparing for this, I realized I remember almost nothing from it. That's how little impact it made. So that leaves me at a 5. Average,
Okay.
totally forgettable. Overall grades 13 and 4.3 for Super. Not a recommendation, despite a 7.5 here, but a 0.5.
Ignati and I liked Super.
Whatever.
Watch our show.
How nice for you.
We know stuff on my other show.
Wait,
Fancy syndication lady.
where is Ignati?
He's in Chicago.
Thank you.
Face the wrath of the Crimson Bolt!